My name is Sean McDaniel. My life is kind of like one of those good news, bad news jokes. You know, like I've got some good news and some bad news. So which do you want to hear first? Well, in those jokes, it's always the good news that comes first. So here goes. I have this weird, what do we even call it? Ability, maybe gift, power, whatever name you want to give it. The thing is, I can remember everything I hear perfectly. With total recall. I mean, everything. I could probably go on about my good news for hours, but I'm sure you want to hear the punchline. My bad news. Well, there's not that much, to be honest, but what's here, it's complicated, and it's difficult, really, to explain. In a nutshell, I'm pretty sure that my dad is planning to kill me. Every year, approximately 7.9 million disabled, or rather, differently abled, children are born. These children are totally dependent upon their families to care for them 24/7, 365 days a year. Sadly, some family members seek to rid themselves of the burden of taking care of these children. But when we end their pain, we also silence their voice. The author of this story voices the experience of his real-life 14-year-old son with cerebral palsy, who is Stuck in Neutral by Terry Truman. Every year, the school district sends out a psychologist to test me. And every year since I was 6, the psychologist gives me a series of intelligence questions like, who was George Washington? Or, what's 2 + 2? And every year, since I was 6, I sit there and proceed to miss every single question. Then the shrink goes and gives my mom a number. IQ 1.2, or a mental age of 3 to 4. And that's in months, not years. So yeah, according to the world, I am as dumb as a fence post. The deal is, I have cerebral palsy. CP. CP is not a disease, it's more of a condition. I can't control my muscles. So when the psychologist asks, who was George Washington? I can't tell him. All I can do is sit there and drool. And another thing, my mom still talks to me as if I was a newborn baby or an idiot. She can't know that I understand literally every word she says. So my conversation with her is limited to sweet baby talk. Just once, I wish I could go up to her and say, Mom, hello, I am 14 years old. But I can't. Now I guess I should explain about my dad, about why he's planning to kill me. I mean, it's not as though he stated it directly necessarily. It's more of an intuition. You can't protect yourself at all. How can your mother or I or anybody ever keep you safe? How can we protect you? You're helpless. Hopeless. Maybe you'd be better off if I ended your pain.
I mean, I know my dad loves me or whatever. It's just my condition. It scares him. That and my seizure thing. Oh, did I mention I have seizures? Yeah, anywhere from half a dozen to a dozen every day. If you saw me having a seizure, you'd probably swear I was in pain. It starts as a little sparkle in the back of my head, and then it swirls through my vision in a cloud of color, shutting down my vision. And then I see an image. Only the picture I see isn't necessarily real. It's as if my eyes have turned around and are looking into the back of my brain. And I can see everything that I've ever dreamed, experienced, or imagined. One day last summer, I was sitting on my front porch in my wheelchair, minding my own business. My head, neck, and eyes weren't exactly cooperating, though I managed a glimpse of two strangers as they got to the bus stop. "Hey, kid, has the bus come yet?" When I didn't answer, the same voice said, "Hey, you there, roller derby." I'm assuming he meant my wheelchair. "Has the bus come or not?" Although I couldn't see him, I knew he was standing right in front of me. I felt a warm sensation on my chin. The warmth turned to hot very quickly. My brain started twitching me around. I heard them both laugh. "Don't like the hot stuff, Mr. Wizard? Can you say Bic lighter?" A moment later, I saw my brother come flying from around the corner. He moved so fast it was like a blur. The next few minutes were filled with the sounds of fists hammering into flesh. My brother Paul grabbed the back of the man's garment. He held his fist over his head, ready to strike. But the stranger managed to help himself up. In 10 seconds, he moved out our open gate and scurried away. We never saw him again. In that moment, I never loved or feared Paul so much. But I know that he can't protect me forever. The fact is, no one can protect me. I hear Dad come into the room. He's quiet. There is nothing that I can do. But I'm not afraid. He sits on the end of my bed where a quilted pillow lies. He grabs the pillow and puts it in his lap, and my eyes happen to focus on it. "Son, I hope you know I love you. I love you, but when I see you in so much pain, my chest aches, my heart breaks, it hurts so badly I can barely breathe. Sometimes I pray, just let this all be over. Son, I love you." I call out the words silently from the deepest part of my heart. "I love you too, Dad." But before either of us can speak again, I feel a sparkle in the back of my brain. My seizure begins to spin through me, shutting down my vision. Dad stands up. He walks towards me, pillow in hand, quietly.